So this video is on how to create new users in Salesforce. So, right now we're looking to have Salesforce users at kind of the country coordinator and program manager level. We're not really looking to extend this to the clinic level, and that in large part is because Salesforce licenses are paid licenses that cost $72 per user per year, and so we're looking to limit access, at least to begin with. So how we're thinking about it is probably that every country will have one shared login that would be shared among any coordinators where it would be relevant that they have this sort of data access. So to create a new user, you will click this wrench icon in the top right and go to Setup. And then from here, in your quick find bar, you'll search for, actually the first thing that we should do is we should look at role. So roles are ways of controlling who has access to what data in Salesforce. So for instance, the way we're setting this up is kind of what country level data someone would have access to. And so there's already a role hierarchy that I've started building out, but you'll need to add to this over time as new countries come on. And so basically the setup is that we have overall Miracle Feet, so that would be someone like Christy, Caroline, Jen, etc. Then we have the PMs for each region and the country level coordinators who sit below them. So the goal is that Uganda can only see Uganda data, but Marika in East Africa could see Tanzania and Uganda data, and any other country she oversees that comes into Salesforce. So the first thing you want to do before creating a user for a country is make sure that there's already a country level role that makes sense for them, or kind of regional role. So I have this built out to a certain extent, but of course, plenty of countries are missing. So for instance, I know that for Norway's countries that Mali is going to join soon. So what we could do is we could add an additional role under Norway for Mali. We could call it the Mali coordinator. And you can disregard these things on the bottom, not important for what we're doing. And then if we just go back to our list, or if we just click on roles again, we'll see that now we have this Mali coordinator role. So let's go ahead then to our users and create a kind of sample user for Mali. So if we are again on our search bar, search users, come click here. And right now we have 20 licenses available. 10 are Salesforce licenses that we got through the foundation donation, and then 10 are something that we're paying for, the $72 per user per year. And those are platform licenses. So they're a bit more limited in terms of functionality than the Salesforce licenses that were donated, but they're completely exactly match for what we need them for. It just means that you'll see two different profiles. That's really the only difference for users. So let's go ahead and click this new user button. And here you would enter details, again, assuming that this is just a generic Mali email that we might use. And this is just fake. Of course, it can be changed at any time if you do end up using this for a real user. For the user license, we will so sometimes you'll have an option for Salesforce. It looks like right now I've gone beyond all of our 10 Salesforce licenses, so I only have the option for platform. And then for role, we would select Mali coordinator. For profile, we would select country coordinator. If you're doing kind of a regional program manager, you would select this. And then the only other thing you need to do is at the bottom. So it's good to set the time zone to the user's time zone. So I'm actually not sure what time zone Mali is in, but if we just want to assume maybe East Africa, that sounds okay for now, and it can always be changed. For locale, you might want to do French. I think you could check with someone on what would make the most sense, but maybe for now we go with Guinea. And language, we would probably want to set as French as well. One thing to call out is that the language is only controlling some standard kind of Salesforce language that's universal across all their systems. For anything that we specifically built for CAS and Clubfoot, that still needs to be translated into French. So there is a way to manage translations within Salesforce, and I can send some documentation about that, but it's not something that we have set up yet. So that's something that still needs to be developed out. So you'll have these locale settings set, and then the last thing would just be this generate new password and notify user immediately. Typically you'll just leave this checked. It's the default, but if you're not ready for this user to receive a notification, you could uncheck it and then come back later and check it so that they receive that email. Because we're not actually going to use this user right now and the email is not real, I'm just going to keep that unchecked. So then you would go ahead and click save. And now there's a Molly user that you could potentially use in the future. So those are the steps for creating a user within Salesforce.